So be prepared for a ton of text right now because we have the skill card for Chaosbound Spirit Gaggie, and holy cow, the descriptions of his judgments, which are like the bombs of the regular hero Gaggie, are a mouthful. It is a lot of information. Most of the skills are pretty short and sweet. Everything revolves around two different types of judgments. And it sounds like he's going to be able to do a lot of AoE damage. However, it's not like the traditional warrior like Doom Terminator Vulcan, Star Swordsman Mockman. Things have to happen and rounds have to tick through for these judgments to go off, just like the normal version of this hero, Gaggie, does. So, is this going to be good? I don't know. We're going to have to see. His main attack only hits frontline enemies. Let's get this. Let's go through all the skills, see what it looks like. Let's talk about it. Let's look at the tenants, all that fun stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Let's get going. So here is the skill card. Of course, the new hero looks pretty interesting. Chaosbound Spirit Gaggie. I guess the abbreviation is going to be CBSG because we can't use CSG. Because that's already contract starry gems. So I believe the abbreviation we're going to go with is CBSG. I don't know what else to use. Yeah. It is what it is. So let's go to the active skill here. We have Judgment in Chaos. Deals attack damage to frontline enemies. I hate that. But hey, it's not horrible. And extra damage equal to a certain percentage of the target's max HP, capping at a certain percent of its attackage from Gaggie. Meanwhile, steals armor from the targets for several rounds. So that's just like the basic attack of regular Gaggie. Afterward, reduces the cooldown of Judgment of Fury and Judgment of Iciness on all enemies. Inflicts Judgment of Fury on the enemy with the highest HP. And Judgment of Iciness with the one with the highest attack. So you have a chance to CC essentially the one with the highest attack, and you have a chance to deal big AoE damage with the one with the highest HP. Pretty simple active skill. Now you do have to remember too that we don't know the sublimations and stuff, so that could really affect the way these abilities work. Right off the bat, I hate frontline only attacks. I'd rather have like 2 or 3 random targets personally. But it is what it is. Moving on to the passive skill. We'll get to what the actual judgments do at the end. Chaotic Touch changes the basic attack to deals attack damage to random enemies. It'll really depend on how many enemies that actually is. If the target does not have any of the judgments, it'll inflict Judgment of Fury and Iciness randomly. So it'll just pick one or the other. If the target has Judgment, inflicts the other kind of Judgment. So if they already have Fury, it'll give them Iciness and vice versa. Afterward, increases self all damage reduction for several rounds and has a chance to taunt each enemy respectively for several rounds. So that's pretty good. This is the first taunt of, like, I mean, it sounds like the first good taunt effect we're potentially going to get. Of course, there is like some other taunts in the game. This one maybe has a chance of working out. We'll have to see. Moving on to the next passive skill, Soul Absorption. When Judgment of Fury, remember that's the first one, comes into effect, restores self HP equal to a certain percentage of his max HP. And when Iciness comes into effect, there's a chance of increasing self's energy. Okay, not too bad. Now get ready for all the text in the world. Spirit Bliss, last passive. When taking damage from an active or basic attack, reduces the cooldown of all judgment on the attacker, so just the attacker, and launches a counterattack that hits all enemies. That's pretty good. Dealing attack damage. Based on the number of judgments on the target, deals extra attack damage. Okay, cool. That seems pretty good. You can have up to 2 different judgments on there. Deals extra damage. The counterattack hits everybody. I like it. When self dies, deals survived enemies of attack damage. That sounds like this is the one where it's like you deal damage based on the number of enemies. So it's going to be like that 3,000 damage, but then it's chopped up based on how many enemies are survived. Deals survived enemies of attack damage to all enemies and burns them, dealing extra damage equal to a certain percentage of their max HP for several rounds, with a chance to inflict freeze cold chill. That's what the iciness judgment can do too for several rounds. This is the same effect that I believe both Doom Terminator Vulcan and Starwing Jara apply. Afterward, removes all judgments from all enemies. So now we get the description. Judgment of Fury, skill effect. The countdown reduces automatically at the end of each round. Judgment will come into effect when the countdown is specified quantity. So when it ticks down to 0, boom, deals attack damage to all enemies and burns them, dealing extra damage equal to a certain percentage of their max HP for several rounds. Burns the target, burn the target who triggers the judgment, dealing extra damage equal to a certain percentage of their max HP, the enemy's max HP, for several rounds, with a chance of reducing the cooldown of all enemies' judgment of iciness. So when the regular judgment of, what was it called again? God, there's so much text. Judgment of Fury. When Judgment of Fury triggers, it then reduces the countdown of Judgment of Iciness, and this is a skill effect right here. The countdown reduces automatically at the end of each round. Judgment will come into effect when the countdown is a specified quantity, should be 0, unless sublimations mess with that. Deals attack damage to all enemies again, with a chance of inflicting the freeze cold chill on them for several rounds, and an extra chance to inflict it on the target who triggers the judgment for several rounds. Meanwhile, there's a chance to reduce the countdown of all enemies' Judgment of Fury. So each one, as they tick down, has a chance to trigger the other one to lower that cooldown. And again, the cold chill is the one that prevents them from restoring HP, which is interesting. So, okay. Then we have the Core of Origin skills here. Again, another one that's like Betty's, which is really good, I think. When Judgment of Fury comes into effect, grants all allies with the lowest HP a shield, equal to a certain percentage of Chaosbound Spirit Gaggie's max HP. For the target who triggers the judgment, it reduces their effect of being healed. So that's the enemy. It's interesting. Then when Judgment of Iciness comes into effect, so I think that means when it explodes, essentially, reduces the speed for the enemy who triggered the judgment for several rounds, and there's a chance to increase energy for the ally with the highest attack. So it's interesting. I almost feel like this could be a good first Transcendence hero, maybe, kind of tanky and everything, but the tenants aren't too bad either. It's got a Betty on here. It's got a Starwing Jara, an Ilamok, a Transcendence Ilamok. The big question is he a good first Transcendence into second Transcendence? Or what you do is you do the Eloise method and you build Hyperspace Hunter Ilamok as your first Transcendence hero, and then you transition into Gaggie as your second Transcendence hero, with Jara being your third. Potentially a lot of CC, a lot of shielding. I don't know if it would be a valid strategy, but it would be pretty cool to see how it works out. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Promising. We'll have to see how it actually works out on the live stream tomorrow. Hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time.